All right, guys. So, as you are no doubt aware, the new trailer, the second trailer for the Fantastic Four First Steps film is now out, and we're going to talk about it in this video. I think this trailer actually gives away quite a bit. It looks like the origin story, how the characters got their superpowers. It looks like that's going to be kind of summarized pretty quickly. Of course, there's no reason to make that a big aspect, a big plot point in the movie. We've seen that in previous iterations of the series. We obviously saw it in the first Fantastic Four film in 2005, and I kind of like that. I like that they're not going to make a big deal about it. It's probably going to be shown maybe in flashbacks, or it's going to be a little bit of background exposition there. In the same way that they didn't show Tom Holland's Peter Parker getting bitten by the radioactive spider, because everybody knows how Peter Parker got his powers, right? So, and we've seen that we'd already seen that in the Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man series of films, and so there's no reason to make a huge deal about how the Fantastic Four got their powers. So it looks like it's going to be handled pretty quickly in this movie, so that we can very quickly move on to the main story of the film. We see that in this trailer, the Fantastic Four as superheroes are their household names, and they're loved by everybody, and they're loved by kids. And we find out that Sue Storm is pregnant, and Johnny Storm tells her, he says that she's going to be the best mom in the world. And he's ecstatic for her. And then he turns to Mr. Fantastic and basically says that he's out of his depth. He's going to be out of his depth as a father. And it's played for laughs. And it's kind of typical of modern Hollywood, really, because you see men being kind of turned into these sort of male doormats. The female primary character can only be made strong because the males around her have to be somewhat emasculated. I mean, anyone who knows the trope of the deadbeat dad, or the beta male dad in movies knows what I'm talking about. Suffice to say, this would never be done the other way around. You would never have a situation where there would be a scene like this where the genders would be reversed, where the dad would be told, "You're going to be an amazing dad. You're going to be the best dad in the world," right? And then turn to the mother and say, "You're out of your depth." That would never happen. We then see the main threat of the movie emerge, and the female Silver Surfer warns them that Earth has been marked for death. And a lot of people have pointed this out. A lot of people are talking about this on X, that the CGI, I think, is pretty dreadful and lacking in detail for the Silver Surfer. It's just kind of takes you out of the movie in terms of it's just not believable. To me, she looks like a video game character, like an in-game NPC. This just doesn't look refined enough in design. It actually looks much less convincing than the CGI for the Silver Surfer in the 2007 Fantastic Four film, The Rise of the Silver Surfer. Just doesn't look as good as that, and that's a very long time ago. It looks like throughout the trailer that Pedro Pascal's character is continuously unsure of himself and sort of racked with self-doubt. This is just something I picked up on. I could be wrong here. And it might just be how the trailer is edited together. But there's a few moments in there where it seems like he's unsure as to whether they can protect the world, and everybody's looking to him, and he feels guilty for what he's done in the past, and he needs to get reassurance from Sue Storm. So it could just be, again, it could be how the trailer's edited, but he doesn't look like a confident male character to me. And I suspect he's going to be upstaged by Sue throughout the movie. And again, I would be very happy to be wrong about that, but it does feel like there's a couple of red flags here. Already we had that remark about, it talked about in the previous video about the gender politics stuff in there and everything else. So, and we already know that Johnny Storm is going to be sort of watered down to be, Mr. Sensitive. He's not going to be written as the roguish ladies man that Johnny Storm usually is. So there's a few red flags there for me. We don't see much of Galactus. But I will say that I really do like the look of this movie in terms of the retro 60s aesthetic. I like movies that try hard to develop the world that the story is set in And the period setting with a futuristic vibe here, I think it works really well. They did a very good job of that. So kudos to the filmmakers for managing to achieve that. That said, and getting back to the Silver Surfer, but also the other CG in the film as well, the CG in general does look a bit average. And as we know, I think this is largely down to Disney Marvel just churning these films out so quickly. The artists in post-production just don't have the kind of time they need to make this stuff look more believable and as good as it could be. And I think one of the features of the age of slop has been studios accepting below par quality visual effects because they're just about good enough, right? It's like, it'll do, it's okay, and nothing amazing, because they know that audiences have now become accepting of this kind of underwhelming quality. And so long as most audiences accept it, then why bother making it any better than it needs to be? It's like audiences are kind of conditioned for low expectations now. They've come to expect a kind of muddy CGI look in these kinds of movies, and they evidently don't complain loud enough or often enough for studios to bother improving the effects. So nothing gets better, nothing changes. And the cycle of sloppy CG just continues. CGI was better years ago. Just look back at the first Iron Man movie in 2008. The CG is fantastic. But the conveyor belt of franchise content and constant new releases these days means that the high standard just can't be maintained. And so standards drop and audiences, they've become accepting of it. But anyway, that's just, that's pretty unfortunate, but that's sort of where we are at the moment. Anyway, the trailer ends with Galactus walking through the city, and it's played for laughs. You just see his feet walking along the street, and again, it's always irony in Marvel movies. They just can't be serious. If they end on a serious note, the tension is then released with a gag at the end, which is kind of irritating. But there you go. I'm much less confident in this film lately. We've talked about that. I actually feel like I'm probably going to enjoy Thunderbolts more than this, though who knows? I mean, this could still be the better movie. This new trailer for the Fantastic Four First Steps didn't make me feel anything, certainly didn't excite me for the movie. It looks okay, but it's not surprising. There's no eyebrow-raising moments in there, But I'm sure it's going to be better than Captain America Brave New World. But then again, that's a pretty low bar, isn't it? Guys, what do you think about this? Is this trailer exciting you now? Are you more excited for the Fantastic Four First Steps? Or is it just meh? Have you checked out already? Do you even care at this point? Or is the apathy levels are rising? Who knows? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, guys. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.